Hello everyone, I am but an awkward comrade. I welcome you all to subscribe, queens, peens, and everything in between. So let's get into it while we get time to get into it. Just want to say I thank you all so much for those that have picked up on my channel, for those who have stayed and supported me through all the thicket and the thin and the hard times. I love this community and just the engagement and the crowd, just being part of a community where there's so much people that have a lot in common with you. It's just a great feeling. It's a great feeling to feel like you belong in that regard. Now, I might not be on any forums interacting or whatnot, but doing these videos has been a great way for me to just get out my thoughts and, connect with the world. So if you look interesting and you're different, I would recommend that you get a YouTube channel and you talk about whatever the hell that you want to talk about. So speaking of which, let's get into it. We'll get time to get into it. Sigourney Beaver in this interview is talking a bit about the sexism and the bullying that she experienced from Dracula season 4. We all know there was a lot of controversy regarding that, regarding Mary Cherry, Zavaleta, and Bitter Betty, who decided that they would gang up on Sigourney, and yada yada. Let's just get into it. I'm going to read you all this article so you don't have to spend time reading it yourself. Not that it's a bad thing, I'm just saying. Sigourney Beaver consistently impressed the judges with her high glam look appearing on season 4 of the Boulez Brothers' Dracula. But her journey wasn't all high, with the self-proclaimed female impersonator often becoming the target of arguments among the contestants. Speaking exclusively to Digital Spy ahead of the finale, she answered whether she thought her backlash was rooted in sexism. It's hard to say. I'm not in their head, so I don't really know what their specific reasoning was, she said. I do think that some of it did stem from insecurities that other performers had, which they did project onto me and lash out at me because it was a way for them to deal with it. Sorry, it's just always odd reading the run-on sentences of other people from verbatim interviews. I wish they would just reword and polish what they said so that it's easier to say, okay? The way you say it doesn't always sound good when you write it, okay? Verbatim. So let's repeat that. She said, I do think that some of it did stem from insecurities that other performers had, which they did project onto me, and lashed out at me because it was a way for them to deal with it. There were comments that did feel like it was rooted in sexism, but I'm not the one that made those comments, so I can't say for certain what it was. But it was unfortunate overall. She added how she felt about it all since the show had finished filming, saying, I mean, it did wonders for my storyline. First of all, having to watch yourself on a show like that is very strange. It's cool, but it's also really crazy. Watching it and seeing myself in there and also having the perspective of being there physically when it all happened, it does bring up a lot of feelings. It was almost a second wave of emotions. As far as being at peace with it, I can't go back and change it, so no point in getting stressed out about it. She added what her relationship with the contestants is like now, too. Honestly, it depends on the person. Unfortunately, I really do have a lot of very good relationships with a lot of other cast members, especially the rest of the top 4. I love Saint. That's my fucking best friend. I love her so much. She's such a gem, and I love Dolly. That Dolly bond, when she was trying to put the wing on Dolly's head, and I was like, yes! Comb that hair, comb that crown, okay, whatever. That was such a cute moment. I was like, yes! Put a wig on that bitch, okay? It's about time Dolly wears, some hair. No offense, I'm just saying. I'm actually going out to Phoenix, where Dolly lives, so that we can watch the finale together. This was This was such a cool cast with such a wide variety of styles, but such a killer caliber of performers. And that is but the end of the article. You have it. So yeah. She gave a very Sigourney response, if you will. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I would expect her to say something like that if you were a bit of unsure about it. But ultimately, I think that she just doesn't want people. She knows how the Dragula fandom feels about what was said and how it was coming across, and the the triple teaming that these contestants were doing, some of them. And so she's like, I saw her make a couple comments a while back about how she doesn't want them going. She doesn't want the fandom going at these contestants and artists. I wouldn't recommend it either. They are artists. They are people at the end of the day. At the end of the day, this is a reality TV show, but you can't be mad at the fandom feels a certain way when you're just being an asshole. You know, like, you can be a dick, but sometimes you're a bit too hard. You know what I mean? Focus, okay? So, with that being said, honestly, it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate the way it went down. Looking back at first, here's the thing. At first, I was entertained by the drama because I'm like, oh shit, like it's Dragula. It always is organic, the way things unfold. But then, after a while, it became very bitter and distasteful, and I understood why people were so riled up. And then that, like, it got me into, like, really just not appreciating, knowing, like, the majority of the people who were going at Sigourney were literally eliminated in, like, the first half of the season. Just kind of, like, and realizing what they were bringing, it just kind of made it like this thing of like, okay, are you really just like overcompensating for the fact that you're not bringing it in this contest? Is that what it is? Like, it just seemed like a lot of projection for me personally. It seemed, when we got context, which you can check out my video on that, shameless self-plug, it was very clear that a lot of them had this like misinterpretation that they felt that just because, you know, she was going through things, she was feeling distant, that she had something against them, and that was not the case. And so, with that being said, yeah, Dragula season 4 drama for you. I'm but an awkward comrade. I welcome all of you to subscribe, Queens, Peens, and everything in between, and I'll see you all in the next one. Good night.